I got a question for you.
Okay.
Are there any levels in Streets of Rage 2 that have RNG?
Well, first let me explain what RNG is. So, in Gunstar Heroes, if you kick a bird on one playthrough, you'll get a flame. And then on the next playthrough, you kick that same bird, you'll get a laser. That's RNG. And the next time, you get Michael Dudikoff. That's called ARNG. With Streets of Rage 2, it's easier to explain the things that aren't random. Unlike Gunstar Heroes, Streets of Rage 2 has static items, so this trash can holds this chicken every single time you play. Another aspect that isn't random is enemy type and numbers. Every time I play this section, I get the same Vin Diesel and double Conan O'Briens. It's similar to Super Mario Bros. You start the level and you get a Goomba every time. But unlike Mario, where the Goomba follows a set path no matter what Mario does.
So what if Mario stomps on him?
Mario wouldn't do that. Mario's a nice guy. But unlike the Goomba, I don't know what Galzia is going to do. Enemy behavior is where the RNG of Streets of Rage 2 lies. So to answer your original question, there are 8 levels in Streets of Rage 2, and they all have RNG.
What about the scenes within the levels?
A scene is a part of a level that begins with a fade in from black and ends with a fade out to black. These are also easy to distinguish, since they always have a location change from one to the next, like starting in a baseball stadium, then fading into the next scene on an elevator.
So does level 1 have any scenes that don't have RNG?
Level 1 has 3 scenes, and they all have RNG.
Okay, what about level 2?
Level 2 also has 3 scenes, and they all have RNG.
3?
3 has 7 scenes, and they all have RNG.
Let me guess. 4 has RNG.
No. 4 has 4 scenes, and one of them does not have RNG. The Abadidi boss fight. So first I'm going to loop Abadidi with Max. If I slide in, into a down elbow, into an atomic drop, once I have Abadidi on the ground, I can loop him. And so long as I don't mess up, this works every single time. Now let me show you the loop with Skate. It's very similar. I do a jump kick, getting Abadidi on the ground, and once Abadidi's on the ground, I can loop him with Skate. And so long as I don't mess up, I can do this every single time I play Abadidi with Skate. Now I'm going to show you the loop with Blaze. Abadidi does have RNG with Axel, but you can mitigate it through punch spamming him. And once you get him in the punch spam, so long as you don't mess up, you got him.
What about the levels after 4?
All the levels after 4, 5 through 8, do have RNG during the scenes.
So is that it for the scenes?
Yes, but scenes can be pretty big. For example, level 6 only has 2 of them. You start on the beach and end in the jungle. In the entire game, there is one more non-RNG part, but it's smaller than a scene. It's a section. A section is a portion of the game where you can move forward before the game stops your progress, and forces you to deal with all the enemies. Sometimes you want to stay toward the beginning of a section, so you don't trigger a bunch of enemies, while other times you want to scroll the section all the way to its end, so you can trigger every possible enemy at once. Other than the boss scene in level 4, the only section in the entire game that doesn't have RNG is on level 3, and it's the boss fight. Because the ninjas fall, you can grab them right away with the slide. And after that, you can deal with the boss. Because the boss fades in, you can grab him before he can do anything, and then you got him. Since the ninjas are falling in, you can do something simple like a jump kick to get them on the ground. Once they're on the ground, and you're at a certain distance to them, they're going to want to jump in towards you. And then you got them and you can just loop them. The Zamza fight with Skate is pretty simple. This is how I started. The idea is to grab Zamza as he fades into existence. And then once you get him on the ground, you can trigger his uppercut. And you can dodge his uppercut and loop it that way. The main thing is just to not mess up. Here's the fight with Blaze. Once you mess up, you're out of the loop. And I couldn't even tell you what these guys are going to do. They have set animations and set moves, but it's so random, it's hard to know what move they're going to use next. Here's the fight with Axel. The Zamza fight's pretty similar with all the different characters. It's mainly just getting Zamza on the ground, and then looping him with his uppercut. You just have to make sure to grab him right off the start, otherwise he's all over the place. You also want to make sure you kill the ninjas before you get into the Zamza fight, otherwise it's chaos.
What about single enemies?
If you're taking it slow, then there are a decent amount of single enemies that you can avoid RNG with. A good rule is, if any single enemy doesn't appear from the left or right of screen, then you can avoid RNG. Like Wayne the Barbin clone just standing and waiting to get jump kicked. Or if an enemy drops in from the ceiling, boom, pops out of a manhole, has an animation like walking in from the top of screen, or fades into existence like Blanca does. All these enemies allow you to knock down or grab them, and once you grab them, it's game over, bad guys. There's so many times when I have a video or if I'm Twitch streaming that somebody asks, why don't you guys come up with a strat for this section, because I'm getting my butt kicked. And I have to tell them this is the strat. The game is just that random. And a lot of people say, well, I'm going to conquer it. There's always this idea, some new player coming in who's like, I'm going to conquer this game, I'm going to figure out the strat, I'm going to find out how to make this game not random. And then you either don't hear from them, or later they say, you were right, this game is more random than I thought it was. So I really wanted to make a video that shows the not random aspects of the game and how small and little they are in comparison to the grand scope that is Streets of Rage 2, random number generator. Thanks for watching. If you want to submit a question, leave it down below in the comments section. And always remember, kids, when playing a beat 'em up, you have to get in on it and hit the guys. Well, Mario wouldn't do that. Mario's a nice guy. No! No! Mario, you monster.